Have you ever thought that God could change your life in ways you could never expect? Life is a journey filled with plans, dreams, and expectations. We often envision how we want things to unfold, believing that we have control over the direction our lives take. But sometimes life doesn't go as planned. Sometimes we encounter twists and turns that we never saw coming. And in those moments, it's easy to wonder if we're lost or off course. But what if those unexpected moments, those surprises, are actually God's way of guiding us to something better than we could ever imagine? What if those times of uncertainty are actually opportunities for growth, transformation, and deeper connection with the divine? This is the beautiful mystery of life. God works in ways that we don't always understand, but his ways are always filled with purpose, and often he changes our lives in ways we never expected. We often have plans and dreams for our lives, but sometimes God has his own way of guiding us to something better than we could ever imagine. We may not always see it in the moment, and we may not always recognize his hand at work in our lives, but God is constantly at work shaping and guiding us. In this video, we're going to explore the ways in which God changes our lives in mysterious and meaningful ways. We'll look at how he works through unexpected events, through the people we meet, and even through the challenges we face. God doesn't always follow the path we expect, but his ways are always good, and his plans are always greater than our own. Through these unexplained twists and turns, he leads us to places we never thought possible. His guidance is subtle yet powerful, and it can bring about change that leaves us in awe of his power and love. The purpose of this video is to share real-life stories and experiences about the unexpected changes that happen in our lives when we open ourselves to God's guidance. These stories may be different, but they all have one thing in common. They show us how God has worked in ways that we couldn't have predicted, transforming lives in ways we never could have imagined. It could be a job opportunity that appeared out of nowhere, a chance encounter with someone who changed the course of your life, or even a moment of clarity during a time of hardship that led to personal growth. When we open ourselves to God's plan, we allow him to move in our lives in ways that we might not fully understand, but when we trust him, we begin to see how each of these moments is part of a greater purpose. These stories remind us that God's plan for us is far beyond what we could ever conceive, and even when we don't see the full picture, he's always working for our good. Life is often unpredictable, and sometimes we might feel lost or confused when things don't go the way we planned. But in those moments, God is at work leading us to new places and new opportunities that we couldn't have imagined. It's easy to become frustrated or discouraged when things don't go according to our plan. But what if we looked at those moments as opportunities for God to do something greater than we could have planned ourselves? When we let go of our own expectations and open ourselves to God's plan, we allow him to move in ways that surprise us and change us for the better. These unexpected changes are often the moments where we experience the most growth, the deepest lessons, and the strongest connection to the divine. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more spiritual insights to help you live with purpose. This journey is one that we're all on, and by sharing our stories and experiences, we can encourage each other to trust in God's plan and remain open to the unexpected changes he has in store for us. Life may not always go as we expect, but when we trust that God is working behind the scenes, we can rest in the knowledge that everything will unfold in the way it's meant to. So if you're going through a season of uncertainty or unexpected changes, take a moment to pause, reflect, and remember that God is at work. He has a plan for you, and it's far better than anything you could have imagined. Keep your heart open to the ways he's working in your life, and trust that even in the moments that feel uncertain, he is leading you towards something greater. This journey is one of faith, trust, and surrender. It's about letting go of control and allowing God to take the lead. As we share our stories and open our hearts to God's guidance, we can begin to see the beauty and purpose in the unexpected twists and turns of life. So if you've experienced moments where God changed your life in ways you never expected, I encourage you to share them with others. Together we can encourage each other to trust in the process, knowing that God is always at work shaping our lives in ways that will lead us to greater joy, fulfillment, and purpose. Thank you for watching, and may you continue to embrace the unexpected ways God is changing your life. Sometimes God changes your life through small, seemingly insignificant events that you might not notice immediately. It could be a random encounter, a sudden opportunity, or a life lesson learned. These moments may seem ordinary at first, but with time they reveal their true significance. Life is full of moments that appear to be just coincidental or trivial, yet when we reflect on them, we often realize that they were more than that. These small shifts are not just chance, they are part of a bigger plan that God has for us, guiding us toward change and growth. It's easy to overlook the subtle ways in which God works in our lives, but when we open our hearts and minds to His presence, we begin to see that every moment, every encounter, and every decision can have a profound impact on our journey. One of the signs of unexpected change is an unexpected meeting that changes your perspective on life. You may meet someone completely by chance, someone who may not seem important at first, but after talking to them you find that their words or actions have shifted your outlook in a meaningful way. Perhaps it's a brief conversation with a stranger, a colleague you don't know well, or an old friend you haven't seen in years. You may not realize it at the time, but their words or the way they see the world may plant a seed of transformation in your own heart. It could be something as simple as a conversation that sparks a new idea, or a perspective that challenges your current way of thinking. These meetings, though brief, have the power to open your mind to new possibilities, and it's in those moments that God can use others to guide us. God often works through the people we meet in life, and sometimes it's through the most unexpected connections that we experience the most profound change. These encounters are not accidents. They are God's way of sending us messages, showing us different paths, or encouraging us to take steps that we might not have considered on our own. It's important to be open to these unexpected meetings and to pay attention to the messages they bring. The next time you have a conversation that leaves you feeling inspired or challenged, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. That may very well be a sign that God is at work gently nudging you in the right direction. Another sign of unexpected change is the appearance of opportunities that come without any planning. These are moments when doors open seemingly out of nowhere, offering new possibilities that you never anticipated. Perhaps you've been struggling with your career, unsure of which direction to take, and then, out of the blue, you're presented with an opportunity to work on a project or with a person who seems to align perfectly with your skills and passions. Or maybe you've been considering a change in your personal life, and unexpectedly the right circumstances align to make that change possible. These opportunities are often God's way of stepping in and guiding you toward a better path, one that you might not have envisioned on your own. They may come at a time when you're feeling uncertain or unsure about what's next, but they serve as a reminder that God is always providing for you even when you least expect it. The key to recognizing these opportunities is to stay open and aware. Sometimes we get so caught up in our daily routines or our own plans that we fail to see the doors that are opening before us. It's important to remain flexible and trust that even in the midst of uncertainty, God is always working to provide for us. When an opportunity comes your way, take a moment to consider how it aligns with your values and dreams. If it feels like the right step, don't hesitate to take it, even if it feels a little uncomfortable or unfamiliar. These moments of unexpected opportunity are often God's way of leading you to a place of growth and transformation. There are also times when decisions that seem trivial at the time lead to major life changes. We often think that the big decisions in life, like choosing a career, getting married, or moving to a new city, are the ones that shape our future. But sometimes it's the small everyday decisions that end up having the most profound impact on our lives. It could be a simple choice like deciding to attend an event you wouldn't normally go to, or choosing to help someone in need that sets in motion a series of events that completely change your trajectory. These small decisions may seem insignificant in the moment, but they can open doors to new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences that ultimately lead to greater fulfillment and purpose. A real-life example of this can be seen in the times when you didn't seek help but received unexpected support from others. Perhaps you were going through a difficult time, struggling with a personal issue, and you didn't didn't know where to turn. You might have kept your feelings to yourself, not wanting to burden anyone, but then out of the blue, someone reaches out to offer their support. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a stranger, but their presence in your life at that moment provides the help you needed. This is often a sign that God is opening a door for you, guiding you through a moment of need by sending the right person into your life at the right time. These moments remind us that we are never truly alone, and that God works through others to help us in ways we cannot always anticipate. Another example of small but significant change is when a casual decision leads to something much bigger than you could have imagined. For instance, you might decide to volunteer for a cause you care about, not thinking much of it, but that decision leads to meeting someone who becomes a close friend or a business partner. Or maybe you decide to take a trip to a place you've always wanted to visit, and during that trip you meet someone who offers you a job opportunity, a new perspective, or a connection that changes the course of your life. These decisions, though seemingly insignificant, are often the moments when God's plan unfolds in surprising and beautiful ways. As you reflect on your own life, think about the small decisions, encounters, and opportunities that have had a lasting impact on you. It's likely that many of these moments were more than mere coincidences. They were divine interventions, moments when God worked through the people you met, the opportunities that appeared, and the decisions you made. God often works in the background, guiding us through life with subtle yet powerful nudges. The key is to stay open, remain attentive to the signs, and trust that God is always leading us toward a better, more fulfilling path. In conclusion, the signs of unexpected change can be small but significant, and they are often the moments that change our lives in ways we never imagined. These could be unexpected meetings that shift our perspective, opportunities that come without warning, or small decisions that lead to major life changes. They serve as reminders that God is always at work, guiding us through the seemingly ordinary moments of life to something extraordinary. By staying open to these signs and trusting in God's plan, we can embrace the changes that come our way and be led to a life that is richer, more meaningful, and more aligned with our true purpose. There are times in life when everything seems to be working against you and you don't know how to move forward. The weight of the world feels heavy on your shoulders, and no matter how hard you try, it seems like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of difficulties and challenges. These moments can be incredibly disheartening, and it's easy to feel as though you're fighting an uphill battle with no end in sight. During these times, it may seem like there is no way out, no way forward, and no hope. But what if these very moments of hardship are the times when God has the most powerful impact on your life? What if the difficulties you're facing are not obstacles but opportunities? Opportunities for growth, transformation, and a deeper connection with God. Life's challenges are inevitable. We all face hardships at one point or another, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a health crisis, financial struggles, or relational issues. Sometimes these challenges hit us unexpectedly, and we're left reeling, unsure of how to move forward. It's easy to feel isolated and overwhelmed by the weight of our problems, but during these difficult moments, God has the ability to lead us in ways that we could never have imagined. These times of hardship can actually become the catalyst for deep and lasting change, not only in our circumstances, but also in our hearts and minds. God works through our struggles, shaping us, refining us, and guiding us toward a path that leads to greater purpose, strength, and faith. The first way God brings change through hardship is by teaching us vital lessons. Hardship often serves as the greatest teacher in our lives. When things are going smoothly, it's easy to take things for granted and not give much thought to the deeper lessons life has to offer. But when we face difficulties, we are forced to confront our weaknesses, our fears, and our insecurities. These challenges may bring us to a place where we have no choice but to reflect, learn, and grow. In times of struggle, God shows us aspects of ourselves that we may have ignored or overlooked in the past. Through our difficulties, we come to understand our own resilience, our ability to persevere, and the importance of relying on faith. For example, a person who faces financial difficulty might learn the value of patience, perseverance, and gratitude. The struggle to make ends meet could teach them to appreciate the small blessings in life and to find contentment in the midst of uncertainty. Likewise, someone going through a health crisis might discover inner strength and faith they never knew they had. God uses these moments to refine us, to help us grow in character and wisdom. It is often through hardship that we develop the qualities that define our true selves, and through those qualities we can become better equipped to face future challenges with grace and strength. Another way change happens through hardship is when unwanted changes turn into great opportunities. Life often doesn't unfold the way we plan it. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations we didn't choose, facing circumstances we never expected. We may lose a job, experience a breakup, or face a sudden and unexpected illness. These changes can feel like a setback, a loss, or a disappointment, and it's easy to become frustrated and disheartened. But what if these unwanted changes are actually stepping stones leading us to something greater? Sometimes the doors that close in our lives are the very doors that God has closed to protect us, or to lead us towards something far better than we could have imagined. Take, for example, someone who loses their job unexpectedly. At first, it may feel like a failure or a setback, and they may struggle with feelings of fear and uncertainty. But this seemingly negative event could open the door to a new opportunity they never would have considered before. Perhaps they are pushed to pursue a career they are truly passionate about, or they find a job that brings them more fulfillment and joy. Or perhaps the loss of the job gives them the time and space to pursue something completely different, like starting their own business or volunteering for a cause they care deeply about. What initially seemed like a setback could turn into a life-changing opportunity, and through it, they may discover a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction. Hardships also help us find purpose and newfound strength. When everything is going well, it's easy to feel complacent, to take life's blessings for granted. But when we face adversity, we are often forced to search for deeper meaning and purpose. Hardship has a way of shaking us out of our comfort zones and making us question what truly matters in life. It helps us redefine our priorities and focus on what is most important. Through the struggles we face, we discover new strengths we never knew we had, and we come to realize that we are capable of enduring far more than we ever imagined. For example, a person who has faced personal loss may go through a period of grief and pain, but through that grief they may discover a new sense of empathy and compassion for others who are suffering. Their experience may lead them to become a counselor, support group leader, or an advocate for others who have faced similar hardships. Through their pain they may find a greater purpose in life, and through that purpose they may find healing and strength. Hardship has a way of bringing us face to face with our true strength, and it is through this strength that we can rise above our circumstances and find a deeper sense of purpose. A real-life example of how God intervenes in difficult times is when you face failure or loss, and it might be the moment when God opens a new opportunity that you can't see at the time. Sometimes failure feels like the end, the point at which we've reached our lowest point. We may feel that we've been defeated or that we failed in some way, but it is often in these moments of failure that God is at work preparing us for something greater. Failure can become the foundation for our growth and lead us in a different direction. What may initially seem like a setback is often the moment when God is opening the door to a new opportunity, one that we may not have seen before. For example, imagine someone who has faced repeated failure in their career. At first, they may feel hopeless, thinking that their dreams have been shattered. But over time, they begin to see how those failures have taught them important lessons about resilience, perseverance, and the value of hard work. These lessons prepare them for a new opportunity that they never could have anticipated. Perhaps they decide to start their own business, or they find a new career path that brings them more fulfillment and success. In these moments, God works through failure to guide them to a place they never would have reached without that experience. In conclusion, God leads us through difficult times by teaching us vital lessons, turning unwanted changes into great opportunities and helping us find purpose and newfound strength. Hardships, though challenging, are often the very moments when God can have the most powerful impact on our lives. When we face struggles, it is not a sign that God has abandoned us, but rather that He is working behind the scenes to shape us, guide us, and lead us to a greater purpose. Through our hardships, we are refined, strengthened, and prepared for the next chapter of our lives. So when you face difficulties, remember that these moments are not wasted. They are part of God's plan to guide you, grow you, and ultimately lead you to a better and more purposeful life. There are times when God changes your life in ways that are quiet and invisible, but you feel that change through peace, wisdom, and renewed faith. Unlike dramatic shifts or sudden events, these invisible changes occur quietly within the depths of your heart, leaving you with a profound sense of calm, clarity, and trust in the midst of life's uncertainties. These changes are often subtle, and you may not immediately recognize them as the powerful work of God. Yet as you reflect on your journey, you begin to notice a transformation in your perspective and in your inner peace. These invisible changes remind us that God's presence is not always loud or obvious, but His influence is deeply felt when we are attuned to His guidance and trust in His plan. Changes within the heart are the most significant and lasting transformations. When God works in your life, He doesn't always alter your external circumstances immediately. Sometimes He begins with a quiet shift in your heart. This inner change often starts as a gentle stirring, a small nudge, that leads to a more profound shift in how you view the world around you. One of the most noticeable changes is the sense of peace and calm you experience even when facing hardships. Life is full of challenges, and in moments of difficulty it's easy to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or defeated. However, when God is working in your heart, you may find that even in the midst of struggles, there is a quiet sense of peace that settles within you. This peace is not based on your circumstances, but is rooted in the trust and faith you have in God's plan for your life. The peace that comes from trusting God is unlike any peace the world can offer. It is a deep assurance that no matter what difficulties you face, you are never truly alone. God is with you, guiding you through each moment, and His presence brings a sense of comfort and security that transcends external circumstances. Even when the storms of life rage around you, you can experience a stillness in your spirit, a peace that holds you steady and unwavering. This peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of God in the midst of them. It is a peace that passes understanding, a quiet confidence that all will be well, because you are in the hands of a loving and sovereign God. Along with peace, another subtle change that occurs within your heart is a shift in your attitude and how you view life. When God works in your life, He often begins by changing your perspective. The way you see yourself, your relationships, and the world around you can be transformed in ways that you might not immediately recognize. You may find that the challenges that once seemed insurmountable no longer hold the same weight. What once caused you stress or fear may no longer have the same power over you. You begin to see life through a lens of faith, hope, and gratitude. And this shift in attitude can change the way you approach every aspect of your life. For example, you might have faced a difficult period in your life, perhaps dealing with illness, loss, or disappointment. In the past, these experiences may have left you feeling hopeless or bitter, but as you trust in God and lean into His presence, you may begin to see the challenges differently. You might start to view them as opportunities for growth, ways in which God is refining you and building your character. Your perspective shifts from seeing problems as obstacles to seeing them as stepping stones on your journey. This shift in attitude is a powerful sign that God is working in your heart, helping you to grow in wisdom, strength, and understanding. Another subtle yet powerful change is the development of a stronger trust in God's guidance. Trust is often built over time, especially when you face difficulties that have challenged your faith. In the midst of hardship, it's easy to question God's plan or feel uncertain about the future. But as you experience His presence and guidance through each challenge, you begin to build a deeper trust in Him. You start to recognize that God's timing is perfect, and even when things don't go according to your plans, His ways are always better. This growing trust in God leads you to a place of surrender, where you are able to let go of your own need for control and allow Him to lead you with confidence. As your trust in God deepens, you may find that you become more willing to step out in faith even when you don't have all the answers. You start to understand that God's guidance is not always a loud, clear voice, but often a gentle whisper in your heart leading you to take the next step. This trust enables you to navigate life with a sense of peace and security, knowing that God is guiding you every step of the way. You may not always understand where He's leading you, but you trust that He knows what is best for you, and that trust gives you the courage to keep moving forward even when the path ahead is unclear. While the changes in your heart may not be immediately visible to others, they are profound and lasting. The peace, wisdom, and trust that God works in your heart create a foundation that allows you to weather life's storms with grace and resilience. These invisible changes are the fruits of a deepening relationship with God, and they are often the most powerful transformations of all. When God changes your heart, He changes the way you live, the way you love, and the way you see the world. It is through these subtle shifts that you are drawn closer to Him and more fully aligned with His will for your life. The key to experiencing these changes is trust. Although you may not see the changes immediately, trusting in God will help you experience comfort and hope even during the toughest times. It's easy to want immediate answers or clear signs, but God often works in ways that require patience and faith. When you trust in God, you are allowing Him to work in His own timing and in His own way. It is through this trust that you begin to experience His peace and guidance in ways that transform your heart and your life. Trusting in God doesn't mean that life will be free of difficulties, but it does mean that no matter what you face, you can have the confidence that God is with you every step of the way. Trust is not a one-time decision, but a daily choice to surrender your fears, doubts, and worries to Him. It's choosing to believe that God's plans for you are good even when you don't understand what is happening. As you trust in God, you open your heart to the invisible changes that He is working in your life, and you allow His peace, wisdom, and guidance to transform you from the inside out. In conclusion, invisible changes and trusting in God go hand in hand. When God changes your life, He often works quietly within your heart, bringing subtle shifts in your attitude, your peace, and your trust in Him. These changes may not be immediately visible, but over time they transform the way you approach life and the challenges you face. Trusting in God is the key to experiencing these invisible changes. When you trust Him, you allow Him to guide you with peace and wisdom, even in the most difficult times. Although you may not see the changes immediately, know that God is at work in your heart, preparing you for greater things and leading you to a life filled with His peace and purpose. Trust in Him, and you will experience the invisible yet powerful changes that will shape your life in ways you never imagined. To sum up, through the three ways God changes your life, through small but meaningful signs in difficult times, and through invisible yet deep changes, we see that God's guidance is present in every moment of our lives. Whether it's through a quiet encounter that shifts our perspective or a challenge that leads to personal growth, God is constantly at work transforming us and guiding us along the path He has set before us. We often don't see these changes immediately or clearly, but when we look back, we begin to recognize how God's hand has been in every moment, shaping our lives in ways we couldn't have imagined. God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes the most profound changes come in subtle forms. If you're feeling lost or going through hardship, don't worry. God has His own way of guiding you through challenges and bringing positive change that you never expected. It's easy to become discouraged when life doesn't go the way we planned, or when we face obstacles that seem insurmountable. But in those moments, it's important to remember that God is with you. He hasn't abandoned you. Even when things feel difficult or unclear, trust that God is working behind the scenes to bring about a greater purpose in your life. Sometimes the challenges you face are the very things that will lead you to the breakthroughs you've been praying for. God has a plan for you, and that plan is often better than anything you could have imagined for yourself. Be patient and trust in His plan for you. Even when the road seems hard, have faith that God is leading you to something better, something greater, and something that aligns with your true purpose. When we trust in God's guidance, we open ourselves to the possibility of positive change Even in the midst of adversity, it may not always be easy to see how things are unfolding, but if you hold on to your faith and trust that God knows what He is doing, you will begin to see the fruit of His work in your life. Trust is not about having all the answers or knowing exactly what the future holds. It's about surrendering to the process and knowing that God has your best interest at heart. Even in times of uncertainty, God's guidance is there leading you toward the future He has designed for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more spiritual insights to help you live with purpose. Each journey is unique and each of us faces different challenges and blessings. But one thing is certain, God is always with us, guiding us toward a life that is meaningful and full of purpose. By staying connected to His guidance and trusting in His timing, we can navigate life's ups and downs with peace and confidence. So if you felt God's presence in your life through signs, challenges, or subtle changes, know that He is working in ways that are shaping you for something great. Trust in His plan and you will continue to see His amazing work unfold in your life.